Hello, everyone. Welcome to another webinar from i3. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can monitor and manage your indoor air quality locally or remotely. My name is Caitlin. I'm the marketing coordinator at i3, and I'm going to pass it off to the host today, Alex, who is our global channel and product marketing manager.
Thank you, Caitlin. Welcome, everybody, to this very interesting webinar. So we will touch some items today, like the i3CAIR. We will talk about the problem we solve with i3CAIR and how does this work in detail. We also talk about i3RDM, which are the remote benefits, or the benefits of managing everything remotely. And also we will have a look at the future, which new features are we developing, and then also we'll stop at the ecosystem, i3 ecosystem. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. You can always write them in the chat box. If we can respond, we'll do it right away. Otherwise we will come back on those questions at the end of the webinar. We will have some time for that. And then we also show you what's next. Good. So what problems do we actually want to solve? First of all, yeah, we all know the whole world is talking about it since about 1 year and a half. About viruses, the spread of viruses. So this is a crucial problem that we can improve, or we can try to avoid by monitoring the air quality. So we want to stop the spread of viruses in meeting and classrooms. The second problem we also want to solve is the improvement, or a problem that we want to improve is the productivity. We all have been in situations where in a room it's getting hot, the air quality is dropping, there's not a lot of oxygen anymore in the air, and you see all people in the room, the attention dropping, but the person who is presenting is so enthusiastic, what is good, but he doesn't see that the people are not paying attention anymore. And we want to improve this and to improve the productivity in a class and meeting room. How do we want to do this? Or first of all, what has a very important impact on the air quality? First of all is, of course, temperature. That's pretty straightforward. We all know when it's getting hot, attention rate is dropping. When it's too cold, then people are more busy how to heat up. Humidity. Humidity has a very high impact on viruses, or how viruses can be spread in a room. And if humidity stays between 30 and 55%, then we're all good, or that's the best circumstances. If we go out of this range, then viruses will get a better way to spread. Carbon dioxide, CO2 level is also crucial in a room. That's something that we as human beings are not able to feel if the CO2 level is dropping. So that's there we need. We can only trust on technology, because we can't see that. I see there's a question. So that's of course a very important point when you need very trust on the technology. And then last important item is the particulate matter, and also that one has a very crucial impact on the way that viruses are spread through the air or not spread. What is our solution? An indoor air quality sensor that can be used in office spaces, meeting rooms, classrooms, wherever you want. This can be installed. And So the i3CAIR, that's the name of our solution. And with this solution, we can monitor the indoor air quality. That's one thing, very important, but then it will also alert and trigger notifications. Because monitoring something is very good, but at the end, we want to be triggered by alerts or notifications because we want to take action to improve the air quality. So actually, the i3CAIR is a technology product that improves the well-being, health, and safety in your building. What are the most important features of i3CAIR? So it's monitoring the air quality, and as I mentioned, is triggering alerts. Very easy product. It has only one cable that is connected to the i3Touch. So it's a USB cable that you have to connect to the i3Touch. No separate power cable or whatever. So very simple to install. It's plug and play. So once you connect it to the i3Touch, the i3CAIR will be recognized automatically, and a widget will be automatically shown on the home screen of the display. A well-being index will always be visible in that widget, so that you know if the air quality is good or not good. And the well-being index is actually a combination of 4 factors: the temperature, humidity, particulate matter, and carbon dioxide. And we have written an algorithm that is always looking at those 4 values and calculating the well-being index. You will get real-time data on your display all the time, but on the display, it's also possible to go 7 days back in history to see what happened at a specific moment. The i3CAIR is compatible with all our i3Touch displays that are in our lineup. So from low-end ES, mid-end EX, and high-end PX, all of them are compatible, just plug and play, and the i3CAIR will work. And then also for other displays, it could work if a display has a minimum of Android 7. But we, of course, you understand we cannot test every display out there in the market. But if it has an Android 7, it could work. How to install it? There is an optional i3 multi-bracket available, so that can be mounted behind the display, and then the i3CAIR will be underneath of the display mounted. And crucial is that the i3CAIR is always underneath a display, because every display has a passive ventilation system. So the fresh air is coming from the bottom side of the display and is going out at the top side of the display. So in that way, the i3CAIR will always have realistic values of the air in the room, as the normal air in the room is coming underneath a display, and the hot air of a display is going out at the top. So please never mount an i3CAIR on top of a display, because then the values will be not realistic. So if you have an i3Touch with an i3CAIR connected, once you connect it, you have here, you have the i3 Store. There you can download the i3CAIR app, and if the app is installed on your device, you connect the i3CAIR, and then here at the top, you will see always your live data from the i3CAIR. So what is the most important, of course, is the color. That's our first thing. That's the first thing that we see, because a number 26, that doesn't say anything, but the color, that means for us, green means good, and it's mentioned underneath to be sure or to avoid misunderstandings. If something would change, of course, you will see this value changing with temperature, CO2 level, and the other factors in the room. Okay, let's have a look at, going back. If you click here on the air quality index, then you will actually see all the details of the i3CAIR. So what do you see? On the first part is the top part here, where you see the live data from the 4 sensors. So in the i3CAIR, there are 4 sensors in it: the carbon dioxide, particle matter, temperature, and humidity. So those are the live numbers of every sensor, or the live values of every sensor. And then at the right-hand side, you can see the live air quality index. So those are the live data. And then underneath on this big chart, you can see the history, today's history of the air quality index. Just a second. Yeah, and then you can also check the details of a specific sensor, the carbon dioxide, particle matter, temperature, and the humidity. So you can see the values of every sensor separate. If you go back to the air quality index, we have the blue line is yesterday and the green dots are the today's value. So we can go back 7 days, as I mentioned, in time, and you can see here the values of a specific date and the values of the previous date. Pretty straightforward. And if you click on a dot, you can see also the exact value at that moment. Then on top, we have also a link immediately to all the material of i3CAIR. So that means if you want to check the documentation, all the specifications, or the manual, or even a how-to use video, it's all very easy available within reach on the top right corner. Next to that, we have the alerts button, and they're very interesting because that's one of the key parts of the product. It will trigger alerts. So when something is wrong, an alert will be triggered. So this will come up, this information will show up in the middle of a display, whatever you're doing. It will always attract the attention, and it will give some tips or advice what to improve. If you have read it, you can check the mark and close it. And then also underneath, you see the live data also, or a summary of all the factors. And then we have also some settings that we can do. So you can activate or deactivate every sensor. For example, in the summer, if you have no air conditioning in your room, you don't want to be bothered by an alert all the time if it's 30 degrees outside, for example, and inside at the end. So you can disable, for example, the temperature sensor that you don't get any alerts anymore from the temperature side. All right, so this information is always available within reach at the panel. The information from the i3CAIR that is displayed on your display. But we can also monitor this remotely. It's very interesting to have all this information locally on the display in the room, but it would be, of course, also very interesting to have this centralized in a cloud-based dashboard, and also to have historical data and reporting. But before we move on to that part of the presentation, I would like to ask you for a favor, because your opinion is very important for us. So we have a very quick questionnaire here. Is an air quality sensor a must-have in a classroom or meeting room? What's your opinion? No, perhaps it's a nice to have, or it's a must-have. Please feel free to fill out the form. I see responses are coming in very fast. Okay, 2/3 of the people already responded. Okay, a little more time, 5 more seconds for people who were not able yet to respond. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So it's a head-to-head response. So nice to have and must have is an equal result. So thanks for your feedback, and also thanks to know that important to know for us that you also see the value of this solution to solve a lot of problems. Good. So as already touched, let's dive into the remote part of this presentation. So how to manage the air quality remotely. So we developed our i3RDM, or a remote display management system, to give you full visibility and control over your fleet of display via the cloud. So RDM enables to monitor an entire fleet of interactive flat panels, and wherever you are in the world. Of course, today nobody is traveling, but hopefully in a very short period of time we will be able to travel again, and then it doesn't matter where and when you are. You just need a decent internet connection, and you will be able to have full control over your fleet of panels. Remote display management, yeah, of course, one of the most important items why this is a key feature is less repetitive work. You don't need to go to every display to manipulate something. You just do it from your desk. You can update everything, and also implement the policy of your school or company. What are the most important features of i3RDM? Real-time data. So you will see the real-time data. You can see real-time data of every display in your environment. You can see which software is on it. You can see the IP information of every display, so and configure it, of course. You can push apps. If you want to install an app on a device, you can do it via this remote display management system. You can, of course, also update and remove apps. If somebody has installed an app that you don't want them to install on your displays, you can quickly remove it. Grouping and policies, so very easy to group displays. If you have, for example, different buildings, you can group them by building, or if you have different usage of displays and you want different behavior or different apps, it's very easy to group them. Notifications, that's also, or perhaps one of my favorite features. You can send out messages from this system. You can send out messages to all your displays in let's say in 10 seconds. You can send out a message to everyone in your buildings or in the rooms where displays are installed. And then, of course, security. We are complying with all the necessary security measurements, of course. And then, yeah, for remote help, for remote assistance, for remote settings of a display, a an IT admin can always go directly on a specific display and take over control. So I will show that in a minute how that works, but that's also, I think, a crucial item of i3RDM. Just gonna take a little bit of water. All right, so let's have a look at i3RDM. How does this work? I will have to switch. I'll stop share my PowerPoint. I will dive into the RDM like this. So everyone should be able now to see my RDM environment. So once you log into your RDM environment, this is your dashboard. So in my case, I have 37 devices that are in my fleet. 6 devices are active at the moment. I can see the activity feed. So what has been done recently on our devices. I can see which kind of devices are in my fleet, how many ES75s and so on. So as you see, EX65 are the biggest part of our fleet. You can see which apps are most used, and you can also see the live values coming from the i3CAIR that are connected to a specific device. And here comes the big synergy between i3CAIR and i3RDM. So for example, here we can see that, let's have a look here, for example, where is it? I will show it here in the devices. So here, if you go into the devices, sorry, here, I wanted to show this one, excuse me. So here we have actually the notifications or the alerts. And if I open this, then I can see all the alerts that have been triggered from i3CAIR devices in my fleet. And for example, here, 21 hours ago, we had an alert, temperature was raising. If I click on it, open, then I will get all the details. So unhealthy situation for sensitive groups. What happened? If I want to know all the details, go to sensor details, and then it will actually open the same what I have shown on the display. The same information I can also trigger from the RDM system when I'm sitting behind my desk. And then I just saw that the problem was 21 hours ago, so that means it was yesterday. It was a temperature issue. So, and then I can go and see all the details. And indeed, in that room at that moment, the temperature raised until 29 degrees. And that's why a alert was triggered. 29 degrees is it's not a red alert, it's still orange. So that means it's not a good situation. So it should be good that something would be improved. If it would be a really bad situation, then it will turn into red. The nice thing here is that there's no limitation on history here. So if you get alerts from a specific room, for example, every day, then we know we have to take action in that specific room. We need to do something because either too many people in that room, or the sun is shining too hard in that room, or whatever can be the reason. But we have to dig into the issue because we have an issue that is appearing every day. So we have to take measurements. And if you want to do some more in-depth analysis, you can also download CSV file of all those data and put it in other graphics and make some other analysis and reports about the air quality in a specific room. Now we are here. So on this part here, on the top part, you can see the life values from that i3CAIR. So in this case, this is the panel we are using at the moment, and you can see the temperature in the room is almost 26 degrees. So you see that this value is on orange, but the other values are good, and the general air quality is still green. So we are good in this room. So if I go back to my dashboards where we started, we have next topic is the devices. There you can click on my devices. As we saw on the dashboard, 37 devices in total, and then we can see all our devices, or the details overview of our devices. And then I will open the device that is in this room, and then you get all the details, important information here for IT managers with MAC and IP address, also for servicing. The serial number is here available. The apps usage, how many apps are active and installed. Here you get the activity feed of this display, so the whole history, who was, for example, I see that my colleague 52 minutes ago had remote control of this specific display. Of course, displays online, you can see the storage. I can also lock the display from distance. So if we don't want that people are on this display, I can lock it from distance. I have to set a PIN code, and then if somebody is in the room, he has to enter the PIN code to unlock the device. And then my favorite feature in this software is the remote control. So once I click on the remote control button, then I will see, you can see it on the camera, the message on the display. Anytime on my laptop, I also see that a remote session or access for a remote session has been asked to the display. If somebody is in the room and he doesn't want to be disturbed, he can click on cancel or accept. After 30 seconds, it will accept automatically if nobody clicks on it. So now actually I have control from my laptop. I can decide on the display. So click on the home button. I can open, for example, the settings of that device. I can manipulate settings. For example, I can change the sleep time, the shutdown time. If I want my display to shut down every day at a specific hour, I can all those settings. I can manipulate them remotely. So I don't need to go to every room to do that specific setting or manipulation. So very, very interesting. Also, when, for example, a teacher has a problem, you can start a remote session, and the teacher can see, or the teacher can explain what his or her problem is, and you can follow it from behind your desk. Okay, I will disconnect this display. All right. What else can we do in the RDM system? We can install apps on this device. So I have here my apps in my repository, and I can choose a specific app. I can see which apps has been installed. I can remove it, but I can also choose an app and install it on display. Pretty straightforward, of course. The apps repository, that's the place where my apps, I can upload apps, and then I can also, if I go back to devices, I can work with group of devices like this. So, and in this group of devices, I can choose to install a specific app on one group of devices. So for example, if we have displays only in primary irrigation or a group of primary irrigation displays, we can push the apps to the primary classes and secondary, or if you have displays in geography rooms and we want a specific app for those displays, we can bundle the devices. And then we have the messaging system. Pretty cool. As I mentioned, in just 10 seconds, you can write a message test, and then you can either send your message to a group of devices, or I can choose a device. I will take the device here that we are testing or using at the moment. I will send a message, and I don't know, I will stop sharing, and then you see it on the camera. It's perhaps not very good visible because of the compression of Zoom, but the message that I've sent from my i3RDM system is visible on the display. So this allows you very easy to, or very fast to send out messages to everyone that is in a room with one of the displays. I'll go back to RDM. Yep. And of course, you see the history of the messages. And then the last part is the users. So if you are an admin of the system, you can always add other admins into your system that have the same power as you have. A manual is here available, and then the i3RDM APK. So the app, if you don't have an i3 Technologies display and you want to test if the app is compatible with your display, you can always download here the app and test it. But again, we cannot assure it will work. It's impossible for us to test all the displays out there in the market. All right, good. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Just want to switch back. Okay. Almost there. The slides. Okay, so while I'm switching, we have the next question ready. So we would like to know from you. Caitlin will start the question in a second. We would like to know from you guys what's your favorite, or which are your favorite features? What's your top 3? The remote control that I just showed. General device information that you can see, the IP address, serial number, and so on. The air quality info and notifications via RDM. The real-time data from a device, which apps are installed, and so on. The messaging system that you can send out to your devices message from a central point. That you have the possibility to push apps, group policies to group devices, and to lock a device. In the meantime, I see that a lot of answers are coming in. Okay. All right. We'll give 5 more seconds. There's still answers coming in. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your feedback. So I share that opinion with everyone in the room here. Remote control is also my favorite feature, and then combination with i3CAIR, where you get all the information from the air quality sensor. That synergy is really great. And then the messaging system, yeah, we are on the same page. Thank you. Okay, next topic is the future developments. So on which part are we working to make our solution even better? People who know our company well know that we have a bunch of developers that work for us, an whole team that is working every day to improve our solutions, and i3 RDM is of course a crucial solution where we improve day by day. The first important improvement will be that for the firmware updates, so all our devices, they have OTA firmware update mechanism, but the OTA firmware updates will also be possible to roll out via RDM. So if you have 50 i3 Touch displays in your fleet, you click just once on a button and all your devices. So if you want to do this early in the morning or after school hours, you click once and all the devices will be updated simultaneously. So that's a big improvement to save time of admin people. The second improvement will be the policies rollout. So this feature will allow IT admin to configure one device. So when you have new devices that have been installed in your building, you configure one device, and then you can copy all the settings of this device and roll out over the other 49 devices. So if you have 50 new displays, you don't need to configure them one by one. You just roll out the same settings to the other ones. So also here a big time-saving feature for IT administrators. And then last improvement that we are working on is the i3 Store integration. So at this point, i3 Store is only visible on the panel itself, but i3 Store will also be integrated in RDM so that you can use or manipulate apps from the store directly on your devices. So also here a nice improvement. All right, as everyone hopefully knows in the room, the i3 ecosystem is the key of the whole i3 technologies lineup. The i3 ecosystem, where the i3 Touch is in the center of our system, with on board the whiteboard application, the wireless presenting, annotating, and then with the intuitive launcher that people find their ways easily. Next to the i3 Touch, we have the RDM that we touched today. Next to that, we have also our i3 Learn Hub education software, where teachers can prepare lessons with all the bells and whistles of interactive stuff that's connected to all cloud applications. We touched today also about hardware, the i3CAIR that can be combined with the i3 Touch to enrich the whole solution, to give to your customer even more possibilities to make life of your customer even better by improving or monitoring first and then improving the air quality in a room. But next to that, we have, of course, a bunch of other important accessories to enrich the solution of your users. All right, so we arrived at the Q&A part. So I don't know if there's still open questions.
There's one from the chats from John, and he asks, I assume i3CAIR, are there any plans to backdate the compatibility to the E series, or what about the i360 for i3CAIR?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and the thing is that on backwards compatibility, the first thing that we always look at is how strong is that operating system. And for example, i360 is running on a Android 5, so that's not compatible with the i3CAIR, unfortunately. The Android version is too old, and also the hardware, the processor of that device is not strong enough or up to date enough, and also because the i360 was developed as a whiteboard flip chart solution, so a quite basic product. So that's one thing. And secondly, in technology world, you have always a limitation on going backwards or backward compatibility, and yeah, we have to live with it. i3CAIR, that's a question where I don't know the answer at this point, but it's in the chat, so we will come back on it.
Another question was, can you download the app to other manufacturers' displays?
Yeah, exactly. So the app is available in the RDM environment. So if you have an RDM account, you can download the APK, and then you can install it on every device. But again, we cannot assure it needs minimum Android 7, but then it depends on how the operating system has been manipulated or not. So that's to be tested.
That was it for now.
Okay. No problem. If that's the questions we had until now, or the questions that were not answered in the chat immediately. If you have other questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with us after the webinar. Yeah, we have only a few other messages that we want to shoot to you guys. Is if you want to do some updates on your website or some marketing campaigns, please check out our partner portal. There you can find all the material that you need. If you don't find what you need, don't hesitate to send out an email to our marketing, and they will help you with pleasure to improve your marketing part or to assist. And what's next? We organize on June 22nd. We will organize the next product training webinar about the i360 Pro product that has been launched a few months ago and is available in our inventory since a few weeks. So if you're interested in a demo product, don't hesitate to order it. But on the 22nd, we will go in all details about that product. So you will get an invitation, of course, later on. And then, yeah, again, your opinion is crucial for us. In the meantime, in the chat, you should have seen a link popping up. If you click on that link, please it will take you only 2 minutes. There are only, I think, 3 or 4 questions. That's it. But your feedback about this webinar is very important for us to know what's your opinion, and if you have some advice how to improve. It will be very nice to hear that from you. And then we have only one more thing to say from our side, and that's thank you for attending this webinar. Here in Belgium, it's 5 p.m., so we have to go out for a beer on a terrace. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.